Hello, everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I'm going to be talking about my March wrap up. Okay, so today I'm doing my March wrap up. This is take 2 because I did this before and then I accidentally erased my footage. So, try again and hope everything goes according to plan. Anyway, so I have my Canvas sheet, and so that's what I'm going to be showing you. And I have a page that has a few stats on it, and I'm just going to try to make this pretty quick and just let you see overall, like, all the books that I read and, like, the rating that I gave them and everything. The ratings will be skewed a little bit because I will show you, like, some star ratings, but it's because the, oh, the thing. The spreadsheet that I was using for this year doesn't have I didn't realize it whenever I got it, but it doesn't have like point fives or anything like that. So I do give like some point fives to some things and stuff, but overall you can kind of see how everything went anyway. So let's get to it. Okay, so as you can see here is just a few little stats that I did because it was March Mystery Madness, and so mostly I'm just concentrating on all of the mystery stuff. But I did read 20 books in March, so I had a stellar March. It was really good. And 17 were mysteries, so that was pretty cool. And since the theme for March Mystery Madness was decades, I put the 3 different paths that you could take on here and kind of how my books kind of went with those. So I did have a deep dive that I was trying to do, which was the 1930s, and I only managed to get 3 of the books that I wanted to get for the 1930s done, but that's okay. At least I give it a good try. And then the second path was to read through the decades, and I think if I counted right, I hit at least 8 different decades with all the reading that I did. And then the path 3 was a contemporary kind of dive into different decades. So you could read like a book that came out in 2025, but it was set in 1940s, something like that, and it would count and stuff. So it was a contemporary book with a different decade. And I had 2 books, I believe, that fit that one. I had one graphic novel, and these are all the books combined. These aren't just mysteries, but I had one graphic novel, 2 ebooks, 2 print books, and 15 audiobooks. And that meant I had 4 3-star books, 14 4-stars, and 2 5-stars. So, like I said, it was a pretty stellar month, and I'm very proud of my month. So, if you watched my mid-month wrap up, you will notice that I had these here, and then all of these. This last one on here wasn't on the mid-month wrap up, just those ones. So this last one, and then the books on this side, these mysteries and stuff were ones that I did in like the latter half. And I'm not exact. I know that was a latter half, but I don't remember if those 2 were in the mid-month or not. These were non-mysteries. I had 3 non-mysteries. I don't remember exactly, but I'm just going to go ahead and go through all of them really quickly. So the first one I have over here is French Quarter Fright Night by Ellen Byron. This was a rollover from February and everything, and also counted for the Mardi Gras readathon because it's set in New Orleans. It's the only one I did for the Mardi Gras readathon that was it started in February, but it ended March 4th, so it still counted. And so this is the 3rd book in the vintage cookbook series, and I give it 4 stars. I like this series. I wish it would continue, but I don't know if it is or not. But it did wrap up some things that needed to be wrapped up if it doesn't continue. Then this one is Murder at the Lock by D. McDonald. I give this one 3 stars. It was just okay. This series overall has just been okay. I may continue with the third book. I actually think I have the third book as a e-arc maybe, so I guess I will be continuing. And I'm hoping it'll be better, but we'll see. Then I have Cheddar Off Dead by Karina Moss. And this was a decent, okay start to a series. I'm just not a huge cheese shop person. So I know this is like beloved by a whole bunch of people, but I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. Don't come at me. But it was just okay. I'm not a restaurant shop person. Then the next one I actually have here, which is The Secret of the Old Clock. And this was my first time reading Nancy Drew, and I thought this was pretty decent. I still like Hardy Boys more, and but I thought this was an okay, decent story. So I give it like 3.5 stars, somewhere around there. And then the next one is the Hardy Boys. Speaking of, and I gave that one. It's The Secret of the Old Meal. First, I should tell you what it is, by Franklin W. Dixon. And I gave that one 4 stars. The Hardy Boys are just more adventurous, and I guess maybe that's why I have taken to them really well. But I've heard that people have said that Nancy Drew starts to pick up and gets a little bit more adventurous, and she gets in a little bit more danger as it goes. So I may start enjoying Nancy Drew more later on. But, I mean, like I said, it was only the first book that I read by Nancy Drew, so we'll give her another try. Then I have Michael Connelly's The Black Ice. This is the second book in the Harry Bosch series, and I had this one. I was really happy to get through quite a few of my actually owned books and everything, even though all but 2 of them I listened to on audio, but still I got through some of them, and this one was pretty decent. Harry Bosch is a little morally gray, but I don't think he ever goes too far that I can't still like him, and so I like this, and I thought it had a pretty cool ending and stuff, so I give this one 4 stars. Then the next one is You've Gone Too Far by Carleen O'Connor. I give this one 4 stars. I like this one a lot more than number 2. So far, number 1 and number 3 in this series, it's the County Kerry series, are the ones that I've liked the most. Number 2 just had a lot of really weird relationship drama. This one, thank goodness, didn't really have all that. And I think maybe they've cleared up where they want to be in the relationship by the end of this one. So that's good. And the next 3, 1, 2, and 3 here, are all J.P. Beaumont. So I had a buddy read of J.P. Beaumont's. I wanted to do Until Proven Guilty as my as being a co-host. I wanted to try to do a buddy read with people, and so I got a couple of people on board. And first, it was just going to be me and Kat from Cat's Novel Adventure, and then Carmen decided to jump on board with us, and we had a really fun discussion in my Discord. And if you decide that you want to read these and stuff, I still got all the stuff up on the Discord, so you could always go in and put in your comments and everything. It would be fun to read people's comments if they decide they want to try these books. I feel like they're very 80s. I had a bind up of the first 3, and so did Kat, and we were just having a lot of fun, and we just decided to go ahead and just read all the books that were in this bind up. And so there was Until Proven Guilty, Injustice for All, and Trial by Fury. If I'm going to rate them, I would probably go backwards. I think Trial by Fury is my favorite, then Injustice for All, and then Until Proven Guilty. But just really basically because of Beaumont and his womanizing ways in the first two books were a little much sometimes, but at the same time, they were kind of comical and funny. In the first book, though, it does have, I think, kind of a surprise ending on how it went. Although I think we were kind of figuring it out, but just the fact that it actually went there, I think, was a little surprising. And the third one, the third one was a ride at the end and just had some really surprising things. And I really, really liked that. And I really liked his partner Peters and everything. And so I'm excited to be reading number 4 with the gals again. We're doing that for Old School April. And so it's fun to be back with Beaumont. I gave all of those 4 stars. I almost forgot to say what my ratings were. Okay, so then the next one I have up here is Listening Woman, which was one of my books. And so this is the third book in the Lee Porn and Chi series. And it's from the 1970s, so I think it can be a little dry, but it has a lot of interesting things about like the Navajo and things like that. And I'm starting to get a little bit more used to Joe Lee Porn. I'm a little excited to try number 4 because that's when I'm going to finally meet Chi for the first time since of the Lee Porn and Chi. Chi has not been in here, but I think his name is Jim Chi, and I think he's going to be in the 4th one. Though there was no mention of Lee Porn, so I don't know if it's just going to be Chi by himself, and then eventually we get them both together. I don't know. I guess I will find out when I read number 4. But I give this one 3.5 stars. Then the next one I have is Silence of the Flans by Laura Bradford. And I'm a little sad to say that upon reread of this series, I didn't like it quite as much as I liked it the first time. I read this one here in 2018, and I think my cozy mystery, like, I don't know, my palette or whatever maybe is just different. Like, I've read so many of them that I just have a different idea of what I think is funny and what I like when it comes to my sleuths and things. I don't know. But like I gave this 4 stars before, but I only gave this one like 3 stars this time. I don't like it quite as much as the other one as I did before. And it's kind of a bummer and everything. So it definitely has me reevaluating if I ever want to reread some of her other series that I thought I really really liked, the Toby Tobias series, because I'm afraid I might not like it. So we're just gonna leave that memory where it was. I'm not gonna reread it. Then the next one I have is Murder on Wall Street by Victoria Thompson, and this one is the 24th book in the Gaslight series. And this was a buddy raid with Esther Jane, and we had a lot of fun. We emailed back and forth, and it had a really good mystery, and neither one of us were really ever sure exactly who the killer was. And so, yeah, it was really good. I give 5 stars. I absolutely love this series, and I'm kind of sad that I only have 3 more to go, but I do really want to finish this series this year, I believe. And then I can savor it by rereading anytime I want and everything. So I just need to get it knocked off and finished. And then the next one I have is Small Favors by Jim Butcher. This is the 10th book in the Dresden File series, and it is a reread for me, and it's another 5 stars. I just absolutely love Harry and all the antics that he gets into. He's always in so much trouble with all these different entities and his bosses, and the council and the vampires and the fae, and he just can't ever get anything right. It seems like, and But at the same time, he's like the only one that can like save everybody. But yeah, it's just fun and very action packed, and I think that's probably why I like it. Then the next one is The Secret Detective Agency. This is by Helena Dixon, and it's the first book in The Secret Detective Agency. And this was an e-arc. And this one and Murder at the Lock were both e-arcs, so I got 2 e-arcs done in the same month, which is kind of amazing because I feel like I'm not getting to my e-arcs like I should. And so I got the 2. But anyway, The Secret Detective Agency is set in, it was a contemporary one set in the 1940s during World War II. I'm not a huge World War II fan, but I did enjoy it. Although Jane is not my favorite character, she's the main character, and she's supposed to be like this really good, like, sleuth or whatever. But I actually liked Arthur and his manservant Benson more than I did Jane. But all 3 of them are going to be what comprises of the Secret Detective Agency going forward, and so I'm really curious to see how the next book is going to go because I really did enjoy this, even though I'm not a huge like World War II fan, but I give it 4 stars. And then the last 2, I just kind of lumped them together because I had a photo and I just didn't feel like I was lazy. But anyway, they were 2 of my deep dives into the 1930s and everything. So we had Mr. Zero by Patricia Wentworth, and this one was my first time ever reading anything by Patricia Wentworth, and it was humorous, not quite a much big of a mystery, because I swear I think it says, yeah, she's the Grand Master of Mystery, and I didn't really feel that in this book. But it's the first, like I said, it's the only book I've read, and it was a standalone. And I know she has like a really long series, I think that was called the Miss Silver series, and she has some other series because I do have like books from those other series, but I don't have the anything from the Miss Silver series. But I know that one's I think sort of like really popular one, so I will give it a try. But I did like this. I just didn't like it as much as I was hoping I was gonna like it. I don't think this cover depicts the story inside very well, but I did like it, and it was okay. And I give it 3 stars, I think. I think that's what I gave it. 3 or 4. I don't remember. I feel like I'm throwing out more 3 stars than I have marked, but I think it's because some of the ones that I gave 4 stars to were really 3.5. And then the next one is Perry Mason and the Case of the Curious Bride by Earl Stanley Gardner, and I really enjoyed this one. I love Perry Mason. This is number 5 in the series, and this one was just a little bit different. I think Perry acted a little different in this one than he has in some of the other ones. He was a little conniving and everything, but he definitely, his lawyer was showing in this, definitely, and stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And he's always been a little bit morally gray, and I've gotten used to that. And so then the non-mystery books that I read was Physics, which is the 3rd book in the Angie Sage series, which I thought was okay, but this series as a whole isn't going well, and I will talk about that when I get to the mid-month wrap-up in my April one. But this one was okay, and I think I gave it 4 stars. And Terror Tower by Jennifer Killick is the 6th and final book, I believe. Since it says the final face-off, I'm just going with that. That is probably the final one in the Dreadwood series, and it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of fun creatures, and I think if you like middle grade and you like horror with creature feature type things, that you would enjoy this series, and I give that one 4 stars. And then Steve L. McEvil and the Twisted Sister was my graphic novel. This is by Lucas Turnbloom, and it's the 3rd and final book in the Steve L. McEvil series. and I thought it had a really fun ending and a nice ending. Um, Maybe even a little bit too convenient of an ending, but it's middle grade and it's a little graphic novel, so we'll just let it be and everything. But yeah, it's about Steve L. McEvil, who thinks that he wants to be a supervillain, but really he's more of a superhero. His friends are like more super on the superhero side, and his sister though is really the true supervillain. She is the twisted sister, and the grandfather, who's been a supervillain, but he's not quite so much anymore, even though he tries to pretend like he is, needs her to help get Steve and his friends back from a place where they're at. But you would have to read the books to find out and everything. But I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And there you have it. That's everything. So there's all the books that I read in March, and kind of what I thought about them as quickly as I could summarize and everything. I told myself I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 words, and then I just start rambling. But y'all are used to my ramblings, so that's okay. But yeah, so I had a really good March, and I had a really good March Mystery Madness, and I hope everybody else had a great March, and I hope you read lots of mysteries for March Mystery Madness and middle grade for middle grade March as well, because I know that's a big thing. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all next video. Bye.